Hello, tarot friends. This is Ultraviolet Morgan, and I am here to do a walkthrough and first impressions of the Druid. Here we go. Druid Craft Tarot deck, which I have had in my possession for an incredibly long time, but just today decided to open. So I'm gonna get this here. See if that's the right height. Still not quite right. Okay, now before Facebook has a chance to freak out, there is some soft background music, and it is royalty free. And this image in the back was painted by a family member of mine, so there are no copyright claims to it either. Just in case. This says it is guitar, piano, spiritual, fantasy, royalty-free music. And I don't know. It doesn't sound like guitar music, really. I mean, there may be some guitar in there. Any event, I do actually have to go to my profile. Oh, okay. I can't. How do I do this? But I cannot play this music and look to see if there are any comments. Oh, okay. So I guess I'll stop that for a minute. Because I didn't really think that through. So, there we are. We gotta turn the volume down. Okay. Let's see if anyone, we've got one person in the chat. Feel free to say hello. And yeah, I've been rambling. But what we're going to do, okay, I'm so blonde. I have YouTube up on my TV, but I have it paused. I was going to say I could put the background music on it there. I heard the background music helps to sort of soften your video and keep it from sounding really flat and echoey. I don't know. Anyway, I got this. It is opened. I have opened it, but I haven't gotten too far. So I'm going to talk about it and hopefully not ramble on too much. But knowing me, that's a little doubtful. So we're going to go do a look through, first impressions, etc., that kind of thing. I'm not going to be doing readings. Just going to be looking through this deck. This is the Druid Craft Tarot deck, and it is by Philip and Stephanie Carr Gam and illustrated by Will Worthington. I've seen many pictures of this deck online. And I've gone back and forth. Buy it, don't buy it, you know. Eventually I bought it, and then I just kind of sat around. All right, so the first thing I want to tell you is it was all wrapped in plastic. I finally got all that plastic off.
Mom, no,
oh!
With
One moment. Hey, honey. Okay, am I quiet?
It's different.
Oh, my.
I think this is from Uno Attack.
No, I think they just redid the design on the cards a few times.
No,
So
this is from Uno Attack.
Okay, well, they're definitely different, so I love you. Oh. Don't put your feet in the picture. Don't.
Hi, I just want to say hi.
Okay. I'm like, no. Okay. All right. Sorry for that interruption. Back to the deck. I think that I said no readings, and so everyone's like, nope, don't care. Sad story. I hope that people will join to talk about this deck and just do some friendly chatting. We'll see. All right, so I took the plastic off, and I just noticed right off the bat that the box feels so nice and smooth. One thing though, I guess it opened up okay. So it doesn't have any little cutouts on the side, and it doesn't have, so it opened up, and then the cards were in here, and they were wrapped, and they were hard to get out, because here is a secret that I certainly did not realize. Oh, the first thing is you get this really pretty book. I haven't even opened it yet. So the Druid Craft Tarot deck, and right, showing some of the sword cards. So on a 2-page spread, you do have 4 cards. I don't mind that. I'm not a beginner, and I just want a little bit of information, a jumping off point. I actually sometimes prefer less information, because I feel like tarot is sort of a combination, a conversation between the ancient system of tarot as an entity, all on its own, sort of, and the individual deck, the creator and the reader. When you have a conversation with another person, part of the conversation is hearing and listening, and people and interpreting. Two people watching the same movie or TV show people sometimes are like, are we watching the same show? And a lot of times we're not. We bring ourselves to it. We see different things entirely. We interpret them completely different ways. We may see totally different people as the villain or the hero, the good guys, the bad guys, etc. So I am rambling quite a bit. But anyway, so I feel that a big part of, really bonding with a deck or working with a deck or whatever is kind of this thing that happens between yourself and the deck that isn't really in a book. So like I said, I like to have a little bit of a jumping off, but that's definitely sufficient for me. I don't even know. It says meaning, which annoys me, because I hate the word meanings in terms of tarot cards. Tarot cards do not have meanings. They have suggested or possible interpretations. But it also has keywords, and so meaning, we'll call that description, and then a description of the reverse, right? And there's stuff in the beginning that looks, I'm sure, is well worth reading, talking about the deck. Now we're talking about the outer mysteries. Okay. And pip cards. Listed below are keywords associated with the minor arcana. Oh, good. So this is just keywords associated with the princess, the prince, the queens, kings, aces, twos, threes, fours. That's really interesting. And no, there's not a similar one for the suits, but that's okay. And then, we have the inner mysteries. So this looks like talks about the fool's journey, mandalas and meditation, purpose of the spiritual quest. All right, so I'm liking this. All right, and then the major. Okay, then the major arcana. So for those who just want to see the cards, you'll just have to skip ahead. But what I really love about this, I love this. I love that it starts with the minors. Usually you do start with the majors, and I think the minors is honestly the place to start. I think the Minors is the place to start when you're learning tarot, which I'm not new to tarot, but of course I'm always learning tarot. But well, that's part of my philosophy. So I'm interested. I'm kind of excited to see like what the philosophy is in this book. I do feel like this is going to be a really good learning. Something happened that just got me so excited, and I haven't even gotten there because I've been just rambling about so many other things. So it does go through all the majors, and then it says, and of course you get these sort of black and white, but it's actually I love the coloring of this. It's like sepia tone, kind of like the beginning of the Wizard of Oz, best movie in the world, right? Okay, so sample reading the hexagram spread. So you do get a sample reading and a spread that's new to this deck. I don't know, probably made for these cards. I'm not a huge I'm not a big person for needing to have tons of spreads. I fall back on the Celtic Cross, and I've 3 card, 9 card, something like that, sort of lines rather than spreads, or sometimes not really a spread at all, just depending on what type of reading I'm doing. But I mean, it's kind of fun, and it also helps if they give you a spread that really connects with the cards and kind of helps you to see how the author sort of envisions the deck, I guess. So anyway, this is a nice book. I like it. I'm happy with that. So the thing is, you get these giant decks. I mean, well, first of all, you get these boxes, and this box here, it's taller than the Angel Wisdom tarot cards, and which is one of my, probably one of my bigger decks. But you get these, and they're not always. Let me see. Well, this one is literally the size of the box. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there, but a lot of times the size of the box itself doesn't really there'll be a book and the cards aren't whatever. I'm feeling a little rambly, but these cards, and it's just not gonna reflect as well on screen because I've seen them. I've seen walkthroughs. These are massive. These are massive cards. Here's my hand, and I have small hands. I have 7.5 size shoes, but still, these are big cards, and I haven't taken the plastic off all the way yet. I was like, wow. And the artwork is really gorgeous. I have other Will Worthington decks, and I don't know, sometimes I'm a little underwhelmed as far as some people I feel maybe are more excited, I guess, about Will Worthington's art than I am. It's nice, I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike it at all, but it's definitely a certain style, right? It's usually not exactly my aesthetic. This is stunning to me. I don't know what to tell you. I have I wonder if my one viewer is Andrew. Or it's probably not Miss Tarot D, because I feel like Miss Tarot D would have said hi. Andrew likes to lurk, but it might just be somebody else. Who knows? I guess you don't have to say hi if you don't wanna. So I am on live. Okay. So this is another deck by Will Worthington, and is the Wildwood Tarot. And I really there's the Wildwood, which is made to sort of copy the. There was another deck Will Worthington did the art. I believe Will Worthington did the art for, and it was the something else. What, the Greenwood, and the Greenwood was like spiritual in a like acid trip, other dimension-y kind of way. It was really a cool deck, and it went out of print. I don't know for sure if it was Will Worthington, but it went out of print, and so then they made this deck. And so this one is like really, so it was like spiritual, like shamanic, but like in a real energy spirit world sort of way. And then this is like really shamanic in a more natural world sort of way. And it's really cool. It is really cool. Here's the pole star, right? And I don't know, the art is really amazing, but it just sort of takes a little bit of adjusting too, because it kind of, I mean, it's not totally real world, but it's real world base compared to the other deck. Anyway, these are great. I have not worked with these nearly enough, but in any event, also I do feel like I'm pretty sure this deck was made in the 80s and has an 80s feel to me. But this deck, the Druid Craft, this really feels like an old hundred or so year old, like oh, free girls in my city, thanks so much. Yeah, I don't need any free girls, but thanks. Like an old storybook of like literally Robin Hood kind of things. Like it all gives you sort of a Robin Hood feel, but this, I don't know, this is, to me, they're so big and they're so gorgeous. I have seen them before, and nothing can prepare me for seeing them in real life. This was a deck I was like, okay, I haven't gotten past the Fool. I love it. I love it. It has, it just feels like, and one of those old manuscripts. What are they? With the illuminated manuscripts. I don't know. I just am loving it. So here's the Fool. Wow. Okay, so how far into this are we? Like a half an hour, and we finally got into the card. It doesn't really say. Yeah, it just really has a storybook feel. I love this Fool. I think it's a boy, but it could potentially be a girl. Like it's got enough. What's the word I want? Free girls in my own city. Awesome. I live in my city and I am free because of the Constitution. Not ambidextrous. Hey, stop bouncing!
What?
Stop jumping around up there, because I can hear it. Love you. Okay. what's that word for when you are like, like angels are not feminine or masculine, or both feminine and masculine. I know I shouldn't be hung up on a word, but I'm hung up on a word. And everybody's probably screaming at me the word. Okay. Androgynous. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got really hung up on that. So, I do feel like this has such a good androgynous feeling to it. And the cloak goes right across the front. So that's where your indication would probably be. And, he/she's wearing this sort of tunic-y thing. And we have this dog that's like kind of looks more like a hunting dog. I like that. It makes me think of Diana or Artemis. So yeah, I've only looked at this one card and it's just stunning. It's beautiful. Yeah. So it has everything for me. Here's the Magician. I also really like the lettering. I don't know. There are cards where the way the lettering is on, and it's probably because I have several decks where they're the same, and it was like okay on one, but then you see it's a repetition like throughout all the decks made by this card, and it starts to, I don't know, or all the decks made by the company, and it just starts to be kind of annoying. I really hope my one viewer is not spam, but okay. It says I can hold it for review. There, I decided to share. I don't recommend clicking on it, even though there's nothing to click. I don't know. It's spammy, so don't do it. Anyway, this is gonna be rambly. Did I mention? I don't know. I like it. It has a unique feel to it. These are just ginormous. So here's the Magician, and he's got all of his tools, and I like how rather than being on a table, it's actually on an altar, a stone altar that's like ground level. I don't know, just a little change in perspective. He's still pointing up, he's still pointing down. We've got a chicken, a rooster over there. That's great. He looks like he could be at Stonehenge, which makes sense because he's a druid. So yeah, that's really gorgeous. The backs of the cards are brown with this sort of gold. They're very plain, but classy. They don't have like that trademark some people are really bothered by. They don't like, this has got it right there, like the trademark the copyright message. So this is copyright, I'm too old for this, Will Worthington 2000, I don't know. So I guess if I wanted to know how old my cards were and I could read in the dark in the tiny letters, Will Worthington. I don't know. I think it says 2001. Totally unimportant. I'm not, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say I should have these lined up so you can like sort of compare them. But they're not. So here's the High Priestess, which is a favorite card. That is really stunning. I'm so sorry for just being so rambly. I'm concerned about putting the book or the box back together because okay. Oh, shoot. I feel like without the weight of the deck in there, I'm going to have a really hard time getting the box open. Okay. But I wanted an extra height. Starting to annoy myself. So now here we are. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the moon. Again, it's very druidic. We've got a stone altar. We've got a book of shadows, or a book, some type of book, with a star on it, rather than the Torah scroll. So, there's some designs in here. So really, the artwork is fantastic. This picture, the lady, okay. I was going to say this looks familiar. It's the one from the box. So we have the lady instead of the empress, which is really nice, honestly. She's got a full cornucopia, which is, and she's still got the water. I mean, you've got all the Rider Waite Smith elements, just kind of, just in a really, really stunning, beautiful, unique way. This deck is not new by any means. And I've seen it before, but again, I just can't explain to you how very different it is to actually have it in your hands. Okay. I'm sort of experimenting with the light because I do see that there's quite a glare across these cards. So then we have the Lord. So we do have this pagan, Lord and Lady kind of setup. And he's got some big hands. He's got a very stern look on his face. This is great. So he's the emperor. Instead of the emperor, he's the Lord. So I kind of like this. I like this. This is the guy who rules over the forest, the land, wherever we are. And it's wild. It feels like it's wild. It's not a city. It's not a country. It's wild. It's the wilderness. So it's fitting that the Lord and the Lady are, instead of the Emperor and the Empress. Now we have the High Priest. I got to turn it a little so I can see it better. I guess I could turn myself a little. We've got, like bull horns right behind him. He's so in your face. He's annoying. Honestly, to me, like that guy, if this was a guy that I knew, I'd probably like him because I'd either really like him or really dislike him, because I do tend to like some really sort of obnoxious people. But yeah. There's that. Oh, the lovers. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. So potentially it could be Adam and Eve, but it's not limited to being Adam and Eve. They don't have clothes on. It's just like them, and nothing is between them. And then we have this deer in the background, which could be like a spirit guide. It could be God. It could be, some type of spirit that's watching over them. Or, if you wanted to think of it as Cupid, you certainly could. I like that. It's very open. It's very open. It's like there's so much there for you to work with, but it's not constricting. And you can just apply everything RWS if you want to, but you don't have to. With that sort of. So he has horns, which could either be a headdress, or we could assume that he's some type of mythical creature. Either way. Their faces are fun. I mean, also, You can see a breast behind the hand. It's probably a woman. I mean, it very much looks like this is the man, this is the woman. I think if you wanted to conceive of them differently, that you could. I think that you could. The Chariot. Okay, this is interesting. We don't have the, I forgot what that's called. The canopy above. I kind of missed that. But I like the really close up on the horses. We still have the black and the white. We still got this. Looks like the wheel, like on the Wheel of Fortune. And he or she again. This actually looks like it could be a woman. I really like that sense of ambiguity in a lot of the cards. That it's like, maybe if there was more light, I would be like, nope, that's definitely a woman. At first, I just assumed it was a man. Then I thought it could be a woman. So, yeah. Strength. This is great. Definitely a woman. I think that this kind of jewelry is only feminine jewelry, but maybe not. It looks feminine to me. I love that she's wearing the red sash. And this is like a boar rather than a lion. We've got a wild boar, which probably makes sense. They're probably trying to keep it within the, a lion wouldn't necessarily make sense here. In this sort of location where these cards take place, or where these cards are happening. This would probably be, these are really big and really pretty. I think you could do some path working into these. I think so. The Hermit. This is not exactly my, like, in my head, if I say tarot, like, what's your tarot aesthetic? I don't think I'd say this necessarily. But it's very compelling artwork, in my opinion. So here's the Hermit. He's got the wolf. He's got the lantern. And he's being led by the light of the moon. And the wolf, then this is also very reminiscent of the Fool. Right? You're on a cliff. I have never noticed that similarity before in other decks. And here you have the sun rising. I've never really noticed a similarity between the Fool and the Hermit before, but it makes me think of, like, a lot of times when you're watching a movie or something and there's kind of this apprentice or, this young protege. At some point, the person's like, you remind me of me when I was your age, kind of thing. So it's like, we've got the animal companion, we've got the stick, we've got the, green and red robes, right? And obviously the cliff and the clouds even. So yeah, there's a lot of parallel. I have never noticed a parallel between the Fool and the Hermit. I wonder if I just should not have explicitly said no readings. I'd have so many people coming on here saying, can I get a reading? I'm kind of bummed that, like, no one wants to come and chat about this deck. Okay, so here's the Hermit. At some point, I hopefully can get some. Oh, there's like some decks will have this. There is a definite like division, a specific spot where the deck is just divided in half. I don't know why, because they came together, but it's worth noting. Maybe someday, hopefully, I'll be able to get some better equipment, better cameras, do some editing, that kind of thing. Right now, I can't really do editing because I can only shoot live at the moment. So here's the wheel. Now this is a different take because she's drawing the wheel on the ground with a stick, and she's got this little wheel in her hand. Now, I don't think this is what was in mind, but it made me think of Jesus in the Bible when he bent down and he scratched in the dirt, and then he said to the men, he without sin cast the first stone. So it made me think of that. And then this little thing here made me think of the anti-possession charm from, the Supernatural spinoff, the Winchesters. They do mention them in the original series, but I've never actually seen a charm. They're mentioned, but I only remember seeing them on the Winchester show. But anyway, obviously it's meant to be a wheel, and she's making the wheel on the ground. This is not a very large circle. It could be a magical circle for raising energy and power. So that's kind of an interesting sort of take on it. I really want to read the book, and at the same time, I want to not read the book. I'm going to be fighting myself either way. I mean, I want to put off reading the book and just, I don't know what that was, but that was freaky. Journey? Did you make a sound?
No.
Like a squeal or something? A screamish? Or was it on the TV?
No, it wasn't even upstairs.
Did you hear it?
I didn't hear anything besides my show. And it was upstairs.
Okay, that's fine. I was maybe it was outside. I was hoping it was you because it was weird. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, yeah. Justice. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. So you got the Roman, the mythology, with Athena, kind of, for me, right? For me, I get some Athena vibes with the owl. And of course, we got the sword and the scale. So this is really cool. Justice has bare feet and feet on a rock, which is interesting. And feet on the earth, as a contrast to the star and the temperance cards that have 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water. So Justice is grounded, I suppose. But that's interesting because with the sword, you have the representation of air. So we have earth and air sort of as a balance instead of earth and water. See, I just feel like there's so much to get out of these cards without even looking into the book. So here's the Hanged Man. So there's obviously full frontal nudity in this deck. This Hanged Man is bound up pretty good. Hands behind his back. He's got the traditional shape of the legs. We've got a sickle in the background, so that's interesting. That's worth exploring. This tree design is really interesting to me. The I don't know, the limbs of the tree are kind of snaky. I don't think there's a snake, but there's berries. So yeah, there's a lot in here to like go into. I'm really super impressed with this deck, more so than I thought I would be. I thought I would like it. Part of me is really interested in studying decks. I want to make my own deck just for myself, like a hand-drawn deck. Maybe someday create a deck, but I kind of just really want to make my own deck. But I'm sort of searching other decks to kind of get a grip on what resonates with me, how I want to approach it, I guess. Because I don't really have one consistent. I've got a lot of different ideas. And I definitely haven't really settled on an aesthetic. I've thought about drawing RWS or doing RWS sort of in my own style, or doing a Marseille style. Thought about doing a more abstract kind of thing. I've definitely got some ideas for some abstract designs. Thought a lot about getting, more naturalistic nature kind of vibes. So yeah, I can't really start working on that project until I have some sort of cohesive plan that like I can settle on. Otherwise I can just do random sketches of Flights of Fancy, but that's not gonna add up to a deck, even a personal deck. So here's his death card. Oh, okay. Nice. So we have the person in the hood. We have a real face. There's a snake. There's a sickle. Again, we have the green and the red. So I'm even starting to wonder if the Fool is all of these people. No, I don't think so. Because I was feeling like maybe they could be the Fool in various stages of life, but I don't think so. No. Some of them are different, but in this deck we do have the same sort of use of the same colors. The forest green, the scarlet, and then we've got these birds in the background. It's kind of ominous looking. And this sort of swirl from the cauldron. And I do know a little bit about the Gunderstrap cauldron. I'm not sure if that's right, but there's definitely a Druid cauldron of myth, and that some possibility of that being related. And also makes me think of the Black Cauldron. That's spooky, right? If you've seen that, my adult son saw that as a child, and he basically loved it, but he tells me that it pretty much warped his life views somehow, and so I'm to thank for that. But I saw it when I was a kid in the movie theater, so what can I tell you? I thought it was amazing. So I'm gonna have to find those books and reread them. I don't know what is this? I'm left with no choice but to refer to the deck at this point. It's interesting though, because the majors are shown first. First when you look through the deck, even though in the book they're put at the end. the Pharaoh fluency between worlds. Okay, I like that. Creativity, harmony, peace, alchemy, magic. So this is the Temperance card, but I do not know what the word is. I don't know what Pharaoh is. But I'm definitely feeling a kinship with this deck. I feel like it's going in directions that I really like, or that it's like got a perspective. It shares my perspective, sort of. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. There's the rainbow there, which is in the water, and then we have a cauldron again. So, and the mixing, yeah, and the red and the. Now we have the scarlet and red rather than green. So, the blue. Why did I say scarlet and red? Scarlet is red, so blue. So, another thing I'm noticing is female characters have blue, except for not this one. She's green and scarlet, and he's got blue on him, so never mind. But she's got blue. She does not. She's got blue on her. Justice has blue. Oh. Here's something I just noticed. Probably not done on purpose. But you have like this blue, and then you have this sheen of kind of a pinkish purple. So red, blue, and purple are bisexual colors. And, or like the bi flag, the bi pride flag. And so I feel like that kind of really fits in well with Justice, even though, you know, there is red here, red in the cape, blue here, and then this combination. I feel like when this deck was created, I don't think the bi pride flag existed, but it still, to me, adds an element. What can I say? It adds an element. I'm trying to keep these together because I don't even want to look at the next one until it's time. So there's a lot of symbols and things going on. Like there's a Star David up there, which contains the, symbols for the elements. There's these dangly things. I don't know what this is, but it almost looks like a witch's face. But it's probably that looks like a hagstone. This is probably garlic or something. I don't know, but it looks like a witch up there. I love the details of the rafters. Totally unrelated to tarot, I really like ceilings that have some type of visual interest because ceilings are super boring, and I studied interior design, and I like a design element on the ceiling. Holy Kernanos. I'm not sure how you say it, but whoa, that's just a powerful image. That is a powerful image. Wow. So this would be the double. Wow. Might not be ready to go into that card. That's just... The Tower. How about that? That's fantastic. You've got the lightning bolt. You've got the people falling. You got the water below it, reflecting the storm above. You have to see these in person. One, I don't have the greatest camera, but I've seen these before on better cameras. And you have the thing about that was that this was like, this is the most realistic of all the images. Like, all these people seem a bit more cartoony. I don't know, this one's just felt really realistic. I like how she's got, this little belly, like a normal human woman would have. She's pouring the water onto the land and into the water. Oh, this is the star, right? There's the star. There's the moon. It's really beautiful and peaceful. I love the feel of this card. The moon. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. This is different. Our dogs are further down the path than usual, and our towers are closer, and they're not. They're stones. And the moon is still in between. You're still looking up at the moon. And there he is. There's the crab. There's the crab. I love the moodiness of these clouds and the water. I love anything to do with water, and I love the moon card, and I love this moon card. Maybe there. Okay. Here's the sun, and this is nice. This horse is very detailed. We normally don't see a lot of detail. We see a real sort of bland horse. This horse feels like a real horse. This child feels more like a real child. And instead of like a face in the sun or not a face in the sun, they put the sun right behind the child's head, which is really kind of cool. Now, the sun to me always makes me think the traditional sun design, or the traditional RWS design, makes me think of the New Year's baby, which I haven't really seen that iconography in a while, but the New Year's baby. And I mean, it just gives me all, the first time I saw it, it just feels like the New Year's baby riding in on the horse. And I feel like it does have the same kind of, it represents like that, the new day, the new year, the new hope, the youth, the birth of something new and all of that, and the optimism. So it all fits in very well. I wonder if there's any relation between the New Year's baby and the tarot and the sun card. I don't know. It's always what I've seen, and that fits really well. Rebirth. So that's what comes after the sun, is rebirth. Instead of judgment, we have rebirth. I love that it has a hare, a rabbit or a hare. I'm pretty sure that's a hare, but rabbits are my spirit animal. I don't know if we're supposed to call them that anymore, but I found my spirit animal 30 years ago, and that's what it was called at the time. But rabbits are also, or hare is also my Chinese zodiac sign. We have like the New Year baby here, and we still have the horn, and so the call is being made for the resurrection. He's coming out of the tomb. This is that's a little tiny bit creepy, but if you're a supernatural fan, Lazarus Rising, you gotta know the Bible and supernatural for that one. The world. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful card. This area is covered. A lot of times, I've seen the world as a hermaphrodite. they chose to basically skirt around that issue by just, leaving it to our imaginations. It's interesting. We got the Mandorla, the Vesica Pisces shape. A lot of times, we have a wreath, but this time it's actually this shape that is more the Vesica Pisces Mandorla, sort of more angular. And it features Celtic knots that look like triquetras all the way around. We've got cups. Instead of the animals or the representation of Matthew, Mark, and John, or however you want to look at it, they've simply just put the symbols for the suits. So that's an interesting way to go, which makes me want to look at why these are all out of order. Seriously. Tower, the star, moon, justice. Okay. I don't know what I did. I do also want to say justice is 11 and strength is 8, which I much prefer. 8 is also my birth number. I identify with my card being strength, not justice. And in terms of the story of the Fool, it makes more sense in that way to me as well. So some people it doesn't matter, and some people the numbers don't really matter at all. Like, they'd only matter if you make them matter. 9, 10, right, so 11. There we go. I don't know why my cards got a lot of order, but I wanted to compare the World and the Magician. So they're very different. The Magician is very old. The World is a young woman. High Priestess. Because of the, the 4 tools. Wow, you see the globe down here below her. There's a lot of detail without it being too busy, in my opinion. Okay. I feel like we need a stretch. Try to move through these a little quicker. Famous last words. Ace of Wands. This is great. I love it. You don't see the hand. You do see the sun, which is perfect. You get that connection to both the element of fire and also spirit and sort of so for wands for me too are like the heavenly realms. So the sun is out there in space. So to me that really kind of works. Then we have these leaves coming off it. That's kind of a new thing. We have trees growing. We have this guy here, this elk or buck of some sort. And this makes me think of very much of the Fool here on the precipice. This over here has kind of a cupish shape, or like a vessel shape, not a cup, but like a pitcher. But I don't think it's really supposed to represent that in any way. It could be, could not. So yeah, there's just a lot of elements in there that you can really explore, I guess. Oh, So these cards go ace to ace. The aces. Ace of Cups, you got all this water. This is gorgeous. I couldn't ask for anything. I mean, it's gorgeous. You got the moon. I like the hands in the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I believe they're also in the Tarot de Marseille. But I like the way they've incorporated them without hands. And then there's the Ace of Swords with the hands. So here we have like the Lady of the Lake, which is interesting. That's why do we have air and water? So much water. Half of the card is water in the sword, in the Ace of Swords. One thing, clearly they do it the way Crowley does, the way most Kabbalists do it, where we have wands and then cups and then swords. To me, I order mine as wands, swords, and cups. I have the masculine, and also, I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons why that makes sense to me, but even so, we do have this actually makes so much sense to me because in the way that I do it, in the way that I think of it, the realm of the water is beneath the realm of the air as it is, right? And so this like reaching in between, because that's how I feel about the aces, really. Yeah, so that was a lot of ramble, but I really do like that. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Undivided on that because the pentacle is just a symbol of a pentacle. It's not anything physical, which is weird because pentacles are the sign of the actual physical. So we have the bear coming out from hibernation, which I know we have in this deck. Look at how in this deck, like the Hangman, we have this sort of winter thing too going on. I need to work with these decks more. That's the moral of the story. So I don't know what I think about this ace. That's not my favorite ace. Oh, 2 of Wands. So this actually, same image, and I don't know if it's also on the 2 of Wands, but it's on another deck that I have. So that's interesting. I know this is an actual place. So, maybe the Druid craft all takes place in an actual physical place. I really thought of it as taking place in a realistic but sort of fantasy location, but maybe I'm wrong. 2 of Cups. This is nice. They look like, from my angle, they look like they were levitating, but they are standing on the ground. And also I like how they're standing on the ground and the water is close by. Oh, 2 of Swords. Ooh. It's different that she's looking away, but you can see that she's blindfolded. And there's 2 paths, which that is a really good touch. Really, really good touch. I don't like it when the 2 of Swords aren't crossed. So they're crossed here. They're cross my heart. They're crossed right across your heart like they should be. So I do like that. 2 of Pentacles. And there she is juggling. You don't see the lemniscate, which is fine. And they're smaller. And they're actually up in the air. More so than with the man. There is the ship there. So that's interesting. Who's kind of keeps him right in front of himself. So this is good. These pentacles are like balls. So unlike the ace, which is just, I don't know, the ace is weird. 3 of wands. Oh, now we're onto the 3s. Okay. This is good. Now, let me see the 2 of wands because I'm always having, okay, so 2 of wands is this, so, I don't know. I like the 3. The 2, yeah. But, I always have sort of a hard time differentiating between the 2 and the 3, so. One thing I think is a little bit confusing, I guess, is these branch off. So we got like 8, 9 down here. I don't know, but I don't want you to turn the TV on. It'll be noisy. Or you can use this, but you gotta bring it back to me. And you're gonna have to turn the TV down. Oh. You're gonna have to come get it. What? Why can't you do that? You just click anything. Whoops. Alright, so we have the 3 wands. It's a little, I don't know. Just to me, it's a little bit sort of confusing that when you look at the top, you see more than like 3 things sticking up, but it's clearly 3. Three of Cups. This is cool because I like the fact that it's 3 men in a tavern. I don't know. I like the 3 men. I like the sister girl powery kind of whatever message, but I'm over it. Like, I like that they kind of stepped outside of the box and said, hey, let's have the 3 of Cups be men. Although, it's cups. It is a feminine suit. So the women make sense, but it's not like there's no males in the suit. There's plenty of males in the cup suit, pictured in the RWS, so I like that they stepped outside of that and had them be men. So now I am going to play this royalty-free music in the background to hopefully drown out the TV, because who knows what's on that, and that'll get me blocked. It's actually YouTube. And that's just confusing to have YouTube inside of YouTube inside of YouTube. Okay. 3 of Swords. That is curious. So you have the heart. It's not piercing the heart, it's going up. This sort of weird shape, I don't know, makes me think of an owl, but it's just, I don't know what it is. So I don't know how I feel about that 3 of Swords either. And that's okay. Like, I don't feel like we have to love every single card. And I feel like a lot of times the ones we don't like are the ones we learn the most from. 3 of Pentacles. See, I don't love that because it's more of a Is it 8? Feels more like an 8 of Pentacles to me, but and there's 3 people looking on a 4th person and an animal. So this is the first one that I've really kind of went, meh. Also, I don't love that the 3s kind of don't make a triangle, or that the Pentacles don't make the triangular shape. Meh. So whatever. 4 of Wands is perfect. I love that it contains a fire, because that's, Wands are fire, and I feel like that's really what 4 of Wands is about, containing the element of fire. 4 of Cups. This is really good. It's really good. I like this sort of board look. See, when you contain fire, you should contain fire. You don't want to let fire go wild, but water is best when it's running water. Still water, it gets stagnant, 4 of Swords. Huh. Yeah, I like this. I like the body language. And 4 of Pentacles. This is good. This is good. I like this. It reminds me of one of my other decks that I have. I have seen sort of, treasure chest kind of for the 4 of Pentacles, I believe. So, yeah, I like that. 5 of Wands. Good. There's that chicken again. Makes me think of the Chicken Kabbalah by Lan Malo Duquette, which I haven't read. I know about. There's some videos on YouTube of him actually reading it. I do like his books, but I'm not as impressed by him as a lot of other people are, or as he seems to be by of himself. So that might be a terrible thing to say, but I don't know. I have divided feelings on him. 5 of Cups is perfect. We got the 3 spilled. The 2 are behind him, way out of his view, and he's looking out here with the fish. So yeah, these paintings are fantastic. These are just, to me, they're more realistic and more lifelike, I guess. These are nice, but these are just much more lifelike. 5 of Swords, perfect, right? Perfect. One thing I don't like about the traditional RWS is, like, I've had the scenes explained to me, but when I first was learning and I looked at them, I was like, really? Like, now I can see them, but I was kind of like, I don't know. I couldn't pick up on a lot of those things, I guess. And this is just much more expressive. 5 of Pentacles. She's got the pentacles hanging here. She's covering her face. I don't necessarily, I mean, she's unhappy and she's alone, which I don't like. There's 2 figures here. I like in the 5 of Pentacles that there's 2 people, they have each other. I like that there's a church. So this to me doesn't say a lot, but we'll see. These cards are incredible. Like they're just nice. 6 of Wands is perfect. We have sort of the traditional picture, but we have a different point of view, different vantage point. It's a little bit more kind of interesting. I like it. So. 6 of Cups. This is interesting because we see the parent, the mother, I think, looking on, watching the children. So we can sort of assume there's a few different sort of meanings to this or interpretations of this card. There's like the relation between the two, but then there's also the like the idea of this person's sort of looking on and thinking about the past. You get that sort of wistful, nostalgic feel from it, but then you also can get sort of the youth and the friendship and the happy interchange between the two. So it's nice. I like it. I'm sure there's even more going on. This is nice. 6 of Swords. I like the change in the vantage point of this too. That's pretty cool. It feels so real. It feels like a fantasy novel or something because these cards are huge. 6 of Pentacles. So here we have it doesn't look like a rich man paying out wages or giving out charity. It looks like our hermit, maybe. So that's interesting. He's sharing what he has. So it gives us more of an even feel, I guess. Like an exchange, a more even exchange, I guess. Or more like someone who maybe doesn't have a lot, but they share what they have, where you get generosity and kindness instead of like holier than thou charity, which is what I get a lot of times from the 6 of Coins. 7 of Wands. This is interesting because again, you've got a totally different vantage point. You can see they're actually climbing up the wall to get to him, and he's got to defend his position. And I always kind of look at the 7 of Wands like that, in the 6, they have the victory, they have the recognition. Well, when that happens, other people are coming up after you. They want the fame and the glory. They want what you have. They want to either take physically what you have, or they want to just usurp your position, or they want to, so yeah. Gets back into that competition of the 5, again in the Wands, So now we have 7 of Cups. It's a really interesting take on it. I like that. It's got a definite feel of mythology to it. What is it? 7 of Swords. You can, anybody who's in this far, I was going to say, you can always do what I do, because I know I tend to ramble and talk kind of slowish. Well, for me, I don't know. But I watch a lot of things on 1.5 speed, 1.75 speed, 2 speed. 7 of Swords. This is a really interesting one because this is a totally different take. This is like he looks stressed. He looks like he needs to come up with a plan. He needs a strategy. He needs answers. Like the Swords, they're like weighing on him. So it gets more into that mental, tactical, less into the like sneaky, sly meaning of the card. So that's pretty cool. I like that. 7 of Pentacles. That is a very different take on the 7 of Pentacles. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. This is like fruits of your labor time, Usually the 7 is you're taking a break, you're tired out, you're waiting. I mean, it does show that the fruit's all there, but the guy, he looks tired. He looks like. And then in Thoth, I think it's like failure or something. So it's kind of a totally new sort of thing going on. 8 of Wands, good choice. Good choice to show the speed. It's weird though. I'm okay with it, but there's a thing. They're not all flying through the air. Only one at a time. Which, I guess we can think it's going to be continuous. Like it's going to be coming fast and it's going to be coming nonstop. 8 of Cups, walking away. This is one of my cards, and it is gorgeous. The cups are not stacked. I don't know how I feel about that. They're not stacked. I do like the moon is like in eclipse there. It's like he waited too, until it was dark to sneak away. 8 of Swords. This is saucy, I guess. I don't know. I like it. I have some very, very different views on the 8 of Swords. Based on this imagery, or based on the traditional RWS imagery. I don't know if it'll work with this card, or this card will be a new exploration of that concept. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, see, there's the 8 of Pentacles. They did a good way of depicting that, or they did a good, yeah. I like the way they depicted that, even though the 3 is too similar. They've always been too similar in concept anyway, or a little bit similar. As a beginner, I found them similar, sort of difficult to differentiate. Not as much now, but this deck has made them similar again. 9 of Wands. We've got our Wounded Warrior. He's almost there. It's pretty good. His wands are sharp, though. His wands are sharp. I like that. Life has sharpened his wands. 9 of Cups. This is very, very strange to be looking from behind. He doesn't seem like he's gloating. He doesn't seem like he's a merchant. He's got a fish, and he's got these cups. So he's got, like this meal laid out at this table, but he's the only one there, which brings, I've heard that before. It's like 9s are like you have everything except someone to share with. At least the good 9s, right? That would be the female 9s. The feminine 9s, the cups and the pentacles are the positive ones. The masculine 9s, not so much. 9 of Swords. As we were mentioning. So yeah, that's a good visualization. That works. I don't want to linger on that one. It works. There's no markings on the blanket. I don't think that bothers me. This is really nice. Again, supernatural with the white nightgown. Yeah. It's not as abundant and fertile behind her as we're used to. It's looking a little bit barren. Other than that, it works. Yeah, I don't think there's a snail. No snail. The snails, there's a cute little story about the snail. I don't remember it, but 10 of Wands, yeah. Burden is heavy. For me, the 10 of Wands is like gathering clouds. getting ready to, well, we could say getting ready to rain, going on to the water. It's not really what I wanted. I did not want to say that. I would say the swords is more of the gathering clouds. You actually say the clouds. But the 10 is the wand energy is condensing so much that it needs to drop down to the next level, which is the air. But this, in some decks, it's cups next. 10 of cups. Well, happily ever after. This is nice too because we can see their faces, and they're at their house rather than seeing it from a distance. And then the cups are actual cups. The rainbow is there. Okay, that's the man's leg. I could not figure out what that was. One would assume that is a man by his stance and by other things, but again, this could be a 2-woman couple. Well, spit on my parade, right? This works. I've seen that sort of design, I guess. There's something I really like about the person laying flat and having the swords all along their back. But this works too. Ten of Pentacles. This is sad, okay? I was going to say, Grandpa there looks stressed. So Ten of Pentacles is about inheritance, and it's about heritage. It's about, to me, it's like your family tree, but also your inheritance, Sorry, I had to wipe my screen. Like the things that are handed down from generation to generation, and it's about the generations. Anyway, what was my point? So he looked stressed, but then I thought he could be on his deathbed, and so that kind of made me feel sad. Everyone's gathering around to say goodbye. Okay, we're not gonna linger on that either. Prince of Wands. Yes. That's the energy I get, is yes. Full speed ahead. I like that. Like, I really get such a feeling from these. I really love these a lot more than I thought I would. I thought they'd be alright. But sometimes you look through them and you think they're amazing, and then you never work with them forever, never. Other times, it's different. I think these might work well with my Wild Unknown. Design-wise, completely different. Soul-wise, they're perfect. Prince of Cups. Yeah. I feel like he's like offering it. He's offering his cup, Prince of Swords. I just came into my head. We think of the the page, the knight. In this case, it's a prince. The king and the queen and the king, as separate people. But why? I don't know. Like the knight could be the king, but just earlier in his life. Earlier in the day. Who knows? Prince of Swords. Oof. Well, he seems to want to fight. That's probably how I would be interpreting that card. Would be like, somebody wants to fight. He's a lover. He's a fighter. Prince of Pentacles. That one probably loved the sky color. This one's probably going to take some work for me to work out, but these are really, so far, these are really good court cards, because a lot of times, so many decks, the court cards give me nothing. I mean, I can get more from pips sometimes than I can from courts, you know? Princess of Wands. So how does this work? We have Prince. Are they even related? We get Prince and then Princess. So does that relate to Page and Knight? Or are they just their own thing? I don't know. Because I feel like princesses are pages, but normally you see them first. So I guess I'll have to check that out. Princess of Wands. She's like embarking. That's my feeling with her. Is like she's There's a song, One Way Ticket, Because I Can by Leanne Rimes, you know? Or or Wide Open Spaces by the Dixie Chicks. Old 90s. Yep. But yeah, like these cards are expressive, they're beautiful. Princess of Cups. I feel like she's just like communing with the elements. You know, the wind is blowing through the cloak. It's like it's communicating with her. It's like she closed her eyes. She listens to the whisper of the wind and listens for echo in the water. Something. I don't know. It's like messages, you know? Receiving messages, listening to your intuition. Princess of Swords. I like what she's doing with her hands here. It makes me think of that art, a Renaissance art, you know? Just the way their hands are. And she looks like an angel. This makes me think of angel wings, even though it's the cloak, which fits for the air and the swords. I'm almost done. Yeah, thank you. I like this. So she actually has a physical pentacle. It's different from the one in the ace. It's just up in the sky. And she's regarding it. She's looking at it. She's like, what is this thing? You know? What do I do with it? How do I use this like to my advantage? Like you know, resourcefulness. Like what can I do with this? How can I make this how can I make this work for me? Like, wow, you know, I got this thing and I know I can, you know, find a great use for it. Queen of Wands. I got Wonder Woman, like right away, Wonder Woman. She's giving me Wonder Woman. She's got her cat down there. Yeah, she's a boss. She's a boss bitch. I feel like she definitely just takes no crap from nobody. Queen of Cups. Ugh, she's definitely in her own world. She's hearing some voices. It made me think of Frozen, when Elsa can hear the singing that no one else can hear. Oh, the Queen of Swords. Wow. Okay. It looks like a pointy hat. It looks like a witch's hat, but it's not. This is different because her eyes are closed. I don't feel like her eyes should be closed because I feel like the Queen of Swords is on guard. She has boundaries and she's aware. I don't know. But maybe she's using her other awareness. She's not quite. I feel like she should be a little scarier or a little more something. Queen of Pentacles. This is interesting. Got my bunny over here. Again with a foot on a stone. There's a bone. And there's that pentacle behind her as well. This is one I just feel like I need to think about for a while. Now we got the kings. King of Wands. He's got his shield, right? King of Cups. That's interesting. It almost looked like he was in a wheelchair at first. I don't know. It looked like a wheel, but it's not. I don't know if that's harp or what's going on. I'm not too in love with this King of Cups. But he's worth studying. This guy, he looks like the one elf from the Lord of the Rings. King of Swords. I don't know. They all look like they're in their pajamas. I guess it's probably like Ireland or something. Wales. With the plaid, but I've got like 2 cards left. So, I really like the quartz, but the kings are underwhelming. So far, maybe when I study them some more. King of Pentacles. He's a likable fella. So, that's it. That's the Druid Craft deck. These cards are shiny, you can tell. They're really nice. I don't know, they feel good. They probably are kind of slippery. I don't want to put them out of order, but I don't know. They don't feel super slippery in my hands. They're stunning cards. 10 out of 10, man. The box. I feel like I'm going to have to abuse this thing to get it back open. It would really make me happy if there were side cutouts here so you could hold on to get your grip and open your box back up. But I guess it's doable. Nothing fancy on the inside. So that's it. That's the gorgeous Druid Craft book. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, be well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell. And leave comments down below.